cause I got something to prove. I gotta take what I hate and finally make a move. I think of you and all the shit you don't do. Well, I'ma make hella sure that I don't become you. I have no regrets, yeah, I'll tie up my chest. I'll never forget what it's like to be in debt. Been stabbed in the back bed, I'll show you what happens. Pass me the mic and I'll show you with action. I feel this pain, you already know. Turn that to gains, let my money show.
All right, so today, holy fluffy freaking hood.
I know, I love it.
Holy shit. Okay, so Steph's busted out the winter stuff.
It's cold.
We had the storm of the century last night, like 65 gust winds, so everyone out here is kind of getting their stuff back together, and we're just gonna do projects today, I guess. So boat did good, so everyone's fixing stuff. We're gonna fix the boat. So we're gonna work on today, we're gonna do our companionway door, the top slider. It's got this big teak, I'll show you guys in a second. It's got this big teak door, which looks really cool, and it's been kind of questionable for a while. The inner part's been soft, and you know, we haven't got to it because it's like you literally got to take your freaking hatch off to fix it. So we haven't wanted to do that. Well, it's now letting water in, and it's just kind of buckling apart. We tried to re-secure it a little bit, but I think it's just toast. So what we're gonna do today is we're gonna actually take it apart, keep the frame, and we're gonna be putting in some plexiglass and making a window and reframing it, and we're kind of just reconditioning. So not only recondition, but also add a window, kind of upgrade, little thing like that. So we're gonna kind of show that process. It's gonna be a pretty big undertaking to not make it look like we just busted this thing out on a boat. So making it look pretty and finishing it nice is gonna be the hardest part. So again, like doing this kind of stuff in the shop back when we had a shop was not a big undertaking. So it may not look perfect, but we'll see what we can do on the boat. But we're gonna tackle this one today, and yeah, show you what we do along the way. Well, Steph's gonna hide in her puffy coat. All right, well, you're gonna grab that. So this is our slider now, and it looks pretty good here. What you can see is it's buckling up here, and I mean the teak's still there. We can re-secure down, but what it's secured to is gone, basically. And so if you look over here,
that's coming undone, has been for quite a while.
Yeah, and so what we realize is this is coming undone from the core underneath. And by core, I mean just the layer underneath. So, I mean, I could pop this up, relayer, and screw down, which probably could, but I think we're gonna actually try to inlay some plexiglass and bring some more light in here.
Sucks getting rid of the teak, but yeah, it's kind of beyond repair. Right,
and so, yeah, and it's just not worth the repair in my eyes. I'd like the less traditional look on this part. So this, you can tell I can pull it off because it's kind of starting to go.
It looks horrible.
You can see here.
There's mold and
it's been going, but it was dry, so it was fucked up, but it was dry, and now it's not. And so this is actually pushing up, so you can see this frame here. This is actually pushing up this part here. So this is all hard, still good.
And it's actually causing water to leak into the boat.
Yeah, and water's getting in. So what we're doing is we're going to take the top off, reuse the frame. I'm going to sand it, epoxy the frame to give it new life, which should make this project not super exciting. And then we're just gonna rip this top off and go from there. So that's kind of a gist of what we're doing today. Nothing super exciting, but this is just one of those things coming into winter here in Washington. You got to keep water out of the boat, and it will get in the boat, but we are trying to keep it out. So we gotta get started.
You put your coat on. We have coats on, and we're still cold.
I have my own coat.
You have your other coat?
Yeah.
Okay, if you think you can handle it.
That's
Time for the tear down. We're really gonna see how messed up this thing is on the inside. So, pull the trim off. Pretty rotted. Generally you would unscrew, but here you just.
That is so bad.
Pretty bad, yeah.
I didn't realize they were all that loose.
Yeah, you don't gotta worry about drilling teak plugs when stuff rotted. No screws, you just give her a little bit of shimmy.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. So.
And we're trying to keep the frame, right?
Right, so we gotta be nice to the frame.
I kind of wanted to try to keep this handle if we can.
Not gonna
too.
happen. No. Yeah, no, we can fix that.
Screwed together anymore. Wow.
Any thought it'd come apart harder than that?
That's really sad.
Washington, land of the rain. Alright, so that's where the fun starts. So this support. Yeah, so we got a little bit of soft wood here for sure. But
Is it savable?
yeah, this is all hard.
Oh.
But it did pull the screws out, which I knew that ahead of time.
Wow, this smells like mushrooms. Okay, well it smells like mushrooms.
That's the suck about working in a boatyard. My nose is freaking smoked.
That's exactly what it smells like.
It's probably mold. So, yeah, this one's teak plugged in. All these flatheads got to come out now.
Okay.
So I'll pull this out. Put some new.
That handle is.
So this is our frame. All that rot. The boat actually doesn't have a lot of rot and stuff, so that's why this is so weird. There's actually everything looks really good, but this hatch really got it. Don't know why. It trapped a lot of water, but this is solid. We're just like separating right here, but everything's hard. So we're gonna re-screw it, sand this frame down. That chunk she's holding is pretty toast.
This is what stinks really bad.
Yeah, apparently it stinks. I don't know, my nose don't work no more. But yeah, it's probably growing something. But yeah, so we're gonna basically re-secure all this. Again, all this stuff you see here is this crappy little whatever the heck material they use. That little, it's like 1/4 inch plywood. Sucks. That obviously is a sacrificial piece. This is all teak, hardwood teak. So it may not seem like it now until Steph's got doubts. But what we're gonna do is we're screw this back together, sand this, sand the sides down, epoxy it all, and then I'm gonna build a frame, and then I'm gonna set the glass in here. We're gonna keep this support, so there'll be a support in the glass, but then this whole slider will just be plexi with just a small frame around it. So looks scary now, but we're gonna get started making it pretty. All right, you and your poopy hood.
I love it.
Look warm now.
I'm super warm, especially with the gloves.
All strapped up.
Yeah, it's freezing.
All right, so yeah, you can walk around the camp. What's it, babe? What you doing?
I think it down there. I think it down.
Okay. Gosh, I don't want that. All right, here's put some screws in it. Looks real ugly. See all this loose shit in here. Yeah, just loose stuff everywhere. So basically I'm gonna sand it down now, get us down to a base wood, and then that's when I'll start epoxying and making it look pretty. We'll kind of show you that tomorrow. As you can see, sun's going down, big hole. So it's like high 40s right now. It's gonna get a lot colder tonight. So a wise man probably wouldn't have started this project here now, but whatever, we gotta get these projects done, right? So like I said, it's been leaking, so a non-rainy day in Washington is a work day for sure. So yeah, I'm gonna get some sanding done on here. We're gonna add some epoxy, get this thing filled up, and then build our frame probably in the morning, and then we'll set our plexiglass, and I'll show you how we do that, and make this thing look pretty again. But yeah, it is all hard. It looks pretty scarce, but I'm gonna knock this down and I'll do a zoom in afterwards to show that this is good hardy teak still. We got it before. It deteriorated the stuff in between, but did not get to this, which this is the part that's hard to duplicate with the runners and stuff. So yeah. So we're back at it today. Gonna do a walkthrough what we're kind of planning on doing. So we've got the old hatch off. I ripped the top layer off, the old teak, and so we have the frame here. Steph's standing away on, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna kind of put a border on it. I'm gonna do a border in wood, and then we're gonna router it out and put a plexiglass inlay in it. So it should be nice to have a kind of a little bit of daylight coming in, a little more visibility out of it, and less wood to maintain. So I'll kind of show you what I got going on here. Speed your hand, baby. I don't know if you actually want to hold this. So you can kind of see this is super rough cut right now. We got this stripping here. We're gonna kind of run it around like a border. Yeah, that should fit just fine. We're gonna run this around like a border, and then we'll router all this out nicely, and then the plexiglass is going to inlay inside here. So essentially the router will be on the bottom, the plexiglass will go down, and then this will be secured down holding the glass in. The glass will also be bedded in as well. So it should be pretty strong, should give this thing a little more rigidity. And then when it's all said and done, I'm going to be epoxying a bunch of this, and we'll freaking make it look good and varnish and all that good jazz. Hey Rosie. We have no hatch right now. It's like 40 degrees out here, so we got cushions.
Hi, baby.
I think I'll get yours.
Yeah, it's cold.
All right, so you can see here, this is just nothing special. Finished square board, so now I'm going to router out a groove, and then I'll clean up the edge and router that out too, and they'll look a little more finished. All right, day 2 of this project. We got the frame fitted up yesterday. Then we lost daylight. So one thing I'm dealing with here is there's a curvature to it. And so this is pretty hardy wood. So what I'm gonna do is, last night I threw these top planks down in my wet dinghy, courtesy of all this rain here. And kept them down with the pots, and I'm gonna basically soak those. Put these in the dinghy last night. I basically soaked them, and so I'm gonna screw them down and then let them dry out. I'm gonna get everything fitted today, and then I'm gonna take it down on the boat and dry all this wood out. And then when it's dried, then I'll seal, add the plexi, and after it's sealed, plexi's in, then we'll tape and we'll do a finish basically, and make it all look final. So that's what I'm up to today. Came that when I did that, it sucked down.
Yeah, that looks so good.
And then I
oh, you already put those
added these in so the glass will sit on these.
Yeah.
Basically. And then I added these corner brackets too. These stainless ones.
That looks really good.
So it's freaking
Solid.
it's solid as fuck now.
Good.
And this kicked off obviously, so.
Oh, good.
So you can but you see that little gap, and then so what I'll do is I'll pull this off. I'll put sealant on this right here, set it down, and then put sealant around it, set these down, and then I'll caulk around it, and I'll probably hit the inside too.
Okay. That's awesome.
But I think that should be a nice...
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I can, during the week, work on
doing
the everything that needs to be done with the wood.
Oh, I'll just see how far it'll go. That's some honey shit. Okay. Alright, enough screwing around.
You're going down again. Stop yourself.
Dude, this shit is like... I've never used this stuff, so...
Yes,
This is like... It's like hot glue.
oh. Dan, stop. I'm just helping you.
This might be thicker than the epoxy.
What? I'm just helping you.
Is that the hardener?
Yeah.
You're making a mess.
Oh, I can sand it off.
My babe. Yes.
It's gonna have to. How much fun it'll be to... Probably should use a hard hammer. I don't know what my hard hammer is.
What is this?
Alright, so we got the hatch. I got all the teak plugs put in. You can see here. And so now I'm just gonna go around and sand them. Steph started on this one yesterday. Then you just basically, for those who don't know, you put these teak plugs in the hole to cover the screws, and then you leave them out hanging high. You can see that. And then you just sand them off flush. And then that's how you get that nice teak plug look where everything looks like it was a perfect fit. You just sand it down. So I'm gonna sand that. I gotta put my handle back on, and then we're gonna penetrating epoxy, then Bristol. And so I'm gonna see if I can get it penetrating today, and then Bristol tomorrow, and then it should be done. So get back to it. Alright, got it all sanded. Little teak plugs down. Handles on now. Now we're going to do some penetrating epoxy before we put the Bristol on. But you don't know if you can really see it in the video, but I'm now doing we did 3 coats epoxy, penetrating epoxy, set the base, and then now I'm doing the Bristol finish. If you're not familiar with that, it's a 2-part urethane. It's kind of like a varnish in sense, but you mix a hardener into it, it kicks off, and it's really good stuff. It's not cheap, but it's really good stuff. I'm doing it like in the cusp of temp wise. So what I'm going to do actually is I'm putting 3 coats on now, plus it's already got 3 coats penetrating epoxy, so we're like 6 coats, and it's already not leveling as well. And when it's like warm, it levels super nice. It looks great. You can just layer hour increments just right on top of it, which wet coat, which is really nice. But right now I'm kind of on that cusp, so it's not leveling like as much as I'd like. So I'm just gonna get enough while we have a few days. It's too cold to rain here, so I got a few days, and then we'll put this on, and then probably in a few months I'll actually sand it down just like a little bit off, just to scuff it, level it, and then I'll go over and do some better finish coats. But yeah, so just kind of show you what we got here. So this is the Bristol. You can get an amber or clear. We're doing clear, but yeah, so far it's looking pretty good. The top pieces, if you can tell, are oak, so we kind of did that, kind of a 2-part or kind of a basically 2-tone. It kind of turned out cool. So it's oak on teak, and got all the plugs in. You can kind of see that shine. And then once we pull this off, we actually have a decal, a custom decal we're going to put across here. But yeah, so far it looked pretty good. That wood came out awesome. Definitely gave this thing a new life. The window too, since we've had it kind of in and been using it through this cold, it adds a little bit of extra light, but it's under the bimini, so it won't get that direct sunlight, which is nice too. So yeah, I'm gonna need a couple more coats of this, probably 1 more coat of this, and we'll let it cure and then show you the finished product.
Okay, so I'm gonna show you the almost finished product. Or I shouldn't even say I didn't have time to do any of this project really. It's mainly been Anthony, but he just put a couple of coats of Bristol on it. We still have another like 3 to do, but we're gonna wait until it's a little bit of warmer day because we're having issues of it setting quickly before it starts dripping. But I am so happy with how it turned out. It looks so pretty, way better than I even pictured. Here it is. And again, we still have another like 3 coats of Bristol to put on there, but I mean, it looks so good. I'm so happy. And we will be moving on to doing the enclosure really soon, waiting for more stuff to come in for it, but that's probably going to be another one, and also the water maker as well. So yeah, we're excited. We're getting these huge things knocked off the list.